Hi everyone, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to be joined by Jessica from Double the Stitches and the host for the Knit Happy Summit. Today, while we talk everything about this new summit that's coming up in a couple of weeks, that I am super excited about. But let's first have Jessica introduce herself.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm so honored, so happy to be here this morning with Hortense, although it's probably afternoon or almost evening, maybe where you are. So I'm located in the U.S. in New York. So we always have to coordinate our times. But yeah, so my name is Jessica Ayes, and I am the designer and the instructor, and almost everything else behind Double the Stitches is the name that I design under. And that is a name that was dreamed up one sleepless night. I have twins, and when they were newborns, I realized if I ever wanted them to have handmade things, I was going to need to double my stitches. And so the name was born. And then a couple of years ago, I started hosting summits, and Hortense has been like my summit big sister. She's always there, helping and supporting because, she also hosts summits as well. And she had, dipped her toes into this world before I did. So she has, helped and guided me with, some things I struggled with. But this is the third time I'm hosting it, and it just keeps getting better every single time. It is, I don't know if we said the name yet, it's called the Knit Happy Summit. And it is not a very specific topic. It is generally about how to find more joy in your knitting, how to go from, oh my God, why is this so hard, to I can totally knit that. It's yes, okay, that link is the right link. I'm just double checking.
Tech.
Yes, it should also work if you go to knithappysummit.com/, I think we did KWC for you, knitting with chopsticks. So if you have trouble with that link, try the other one, but either link is perfect. And that's where you can go and visit to get your free ticket to sign up and join us. If you have attended any of Hortense's summits in the past, the format is really very similar because we have learned from the same coach, the same program, the same trainings. So there will be a kickoff day. I added a big kickoff day the day before with our sponsor, one of our sponsors, Troy Shear Cheap. So we're going to have I'll have a kickoff call so you'll know what to expect, and that will be on Wednesday, November 5th. And then the real summit, the real event, the main event, we'll have a kickoff party in the evening on Zoom just to get to know each other a little bit and that will be with Twice Share Cheap. And then the real event starts on Thursday, November 6th through Sunday, November 9th. And there will be a batch of presentations, a group of presentations released each day at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, each of those days. And you will have 48 hours to watch all of the replays. There also will be live speaker panels during the event, and there will be stitch sessions if you're part of Hortense's World. They are similar to her Sip and Stitch parties that she hosts for her summits and her squad. So it's a similar idea. But we'll get together on Zoom. So in addition to the kickoff party on Wednesday, there also are two that everyone is invited to join. And the topics are just, they really kind of span all skill levels of knitting. So whether you are more of a beginner where you are looking to understand ease or to understand gauge, if you are looking to, I'll let Hortense spill the details on her presentation, but no matter what skill level you are, I think it's a wonderful one, something we all struggle with. So I'll let her tell you all about that. But so understanding gauge, understanding ease, trying to figure out, what kinds of projects should you plan next, how to knit intentionally and make pieces that you're going to love that fit into your life. All the way up through a little bit more advanced, picking colors for color work, learning to knit intarsia. And then for our super duper knitters, I'll call them, we have someone teaching brioche cable. So not just basic brioche, but cabling with brioche. So a real, broad spectrum to meet you wherever you are in your knitting journey, because with such a large group of thousands of attendees, it's nice to try to have something for everyone. At least that's my outlook.
I totally agree. But I do think we need to highlight a little reminder to everyone. Don't like pressure yourself to watch everything and to
Oh,
join
yeah.
everything. Having something for everyone means there are some sessions that are going to be either too beginner, too advanced, or just not right for you right now. And that's totally okay.
Yeah,
It's like that's how it's supposed to be. So
right.
like
So
you're
that's
not supposed to join everything, and of course you're welcome to, but it's going to be too much and overwhelming. So I always want to extra highlight that, because I know people get tempted to jump on every single session and then are like overwhelmed and disappointed because it's too much and they get overloaded.
Yeah.
And
Your
that's
brain
not
will
what
melt.
we're trying to do. We're just trying to have something for everyone and bring a lot of awesome teachers and awesome content together. But it's kind of like a Netflix pick and choose kind of event, and not like join everything all along the day kind of thing.
Yeah,
A
so
few
I like to tell
questions
people
for
to
you.
think about where you are in your knitting journey right now, and to think about what things you maybe are struggling with, where maybe you could use a little bit help, and then go through the list of presentations on the schedule page and pick a few that are like your must watch. Like, this will help me in the immediate like future with where I am in my knitting journey. And then if you see others that are interesting, that maybe you aspire to those, add those on like a second tier of presentations that you want to watch. We do have an upgrade option. So it is 100% free to join us, to come for there are stitch sessions on Zoom open to everyone, 48 hours to watch all of the presentations in groups. So anything that is available on Thursday, you'll have all day Thursday to watch, all day Friday to watch, and you'll have until 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So you have a nice chunk of time. The presentations are short, actionable. They're about 20 to 30 minutes. But if you really want to have access to everything, then there is an upgrade option, which I call the Happy Knitters Toolkit. And after you grab your free ticket, you will be presented with it. It is optional, but highly recommended, highly encouraged. And it comes with over $830 in bonuses from our speakers. They have generously donated. Myself and Hortense and all the speakers have shared something of real value that they actually sell, and that's not an inflated price. That is what their products actually sell for. In addition to that, you'll also have an option to get a trial of my membership, and there is an option for an extended access pass. So if you're looking for something kind of in the middle and the bonuses are not quite the right fit for you for whatever reason, and you just want access to the presentations, ongoing access, there is an extended access pass option. So you'll see both of those on the page. But even if you don't pick either of those, you'll still get to come and enjoy the summit, enjoy spending time with us. We'll enjoy spending time with you. There's no pressure. It's whatever fits for you. I try to make it as financially attainable for everyone. There will also be free a mosaic knitting challenge. I haven't shared what it looks like with anyone yet, but I'm going to share it with you all because this is a sneak peek.
I'm curious.
Ends are not woven in yet. Don't judge me. So it's a little mosaic knitting coaster, and it is a fun little project to dip your toes into mosaic knitting if you've never tried it before. And if you have done it before, then it'll be, easy peasy for you. But it's fun to work on something in community with other attendees. And so I hope that you'll join me for that. That will be available starting on Wednesday. Oh, Sue, that's so sweet. Thank you.
I'm excited about the coaster challenge. I'm going to try mosaic. I'm going to do it.
We're going to try mosaic. Yay!
Yes, you're going to make me try it. I like the design.
Ashley's not even gotten you to try mosaic. I am amazed.
No. Mosaic and brioche, you haven't I haven't gotten there yet.
No?
I made socks though, so there's
Okay.
progress.
Yeah.
I have a few
Um,
questions for you.
yes,
So all
ask
of the
away.
presentation topics are on the sign up page,
Yes.
correct? But you've organized them through like sort of days that make sense. Could you
Yes,
like explain a bit of the
exactly.
topics
Um,
we have, like overarching topics we have?
yes, absolutely. That's a wonderful idea. Um, I don't know if I can. Will it let me share my screen?
Oh, that I don't know. Maybe I need to. I have
I
no idea how. Oh,
wanna
yes,
see with the
I
two,
can.
yeah, there we go. Because a visual, I think, is always helpful. So I'm not gonna read all of the content for you on the sales page, but I will show you that, so when you click on Hortense's link, you won't see this black bar. That is my, website editor, but you should see, something that looks like this, and there is, able to get your free ticket. Now, all you need to do is enter your name and your email address and click sign me up, and then it'll bring you to that next page, which will give you the options if you choose to upgrade. I did have one or two people reach out where they were having trouble seeing the form. Sometimes I don't really know, but if you don't see the form, then you'll already be connected to Hortense, and then you can click this link here, and it will bring you to a page like this. And the people who were having trouble accessing it were able to sign up using this form. So there's always a backup plan. And again, so I'm not going to read this, but I do encourage you to go ahead and do that. I'm going to scroll, hopefully not too fast. I don't want to make anyone dizzy. So yeah, so we're starting off with day one with a theme of knit smarter from the start. And so these are your foundational skills and strategies to help you knit with more confidence, stop second guessing yourself, and finally understand um, all kinds of different topics that we have prepared for you. So I have a session that I'm teaching on how to beginner basics for how to get started using an app for reading patterns called Knit Companion. And it has row counters and check marks and places to make little notes, and helps follow either a written pattern or a charted pattern or both. I use it often, and so I can't wait to introduce that. And a little sneak peek, but Hortense will share more about it with you all. She's teaching why she rarely has to weave in yarn ends and what do I do instead. Let us know if you're watching us live if you hate weaving in yarn ends as much as I do, because most of my patterns, the yarn tails are tucked behind in the picture or into the sleeves. I eventually get around to it, but it is my one of my least favorite parts. So I'm excited for that presentation. We have Shayna talking about on the edge, learning how to pick up stitches with confidence. And if you are a sweater knitter, a garment knitter especially, um, it can really make a difference in your finished project how those stitches are picked up so that your fabric lays flat, so that it's not ruffly. And Shayna does a lot of garments as well, knitting, not crochet. And so she is really excited to share that with you all. We're talking about introduction to directional increases with Natalie. Katie has more Insta-famous knitting techniques. Lisa is talking about understanding ease and what it is and why it matters. And Bronwyn is teaching how to crack the KnitSpeak code, how to read any pattern without fear or frogging. She is a technical editor. She's my technical editor, actually. She's the reason that the math works in my patterns. And so she has got a lot of great stuff for you. If you ever struggled with reading a pattern, you definitely want to watch that presentation. Janessa is, I call her my left-hand woman. She helps me behind the scenes, and she is a lefty knitter. And she is teaching how to stop turning your work, meaning how to knit backwards instead of turning your work and purling. And Lena is talking about the 4 keys to successful yarn substitution, because that can be such a struggle too. Sometimes a yarn is discontinued, or it's just not accessible where you live, or you don't like the fiber content of the yarn and you'd prefer something different. So she has some great tips for you. And that's all on day one.
It's packed
It
with good
is,
stuff.
yes, all good stuff. So day 2 is the more you knit, the more there is to learn, because once you dive in, knitting is and crochet as well, I think are kind of like a rabbit hole. Like you start with the basics, right? Your knits and your purls, or your your single crochets, your double crochets, and then as you grow in your skills and become more confident, there seems to always be something new to learn. And that's one of my favorite things about yarn crafts, is that there is this opportunity for lifelong learning. So it is, there's always something new to learn. So Ashley, if you've attended the Knit Your Own Adventure Summit, which she just recently wrapped up, she was the hostess of that event, and she's talking about short rows and adding color and shape to your shawls. And Irina is teaching us combination continental knitting. And Holly is teaching us Intarsia 101, which is a color work technique. I mentioned brioche cables. That is Jen Lampin, and that's what she's teaching us. Jewel is talking about signature scarves, which are a wonderful way to create stylish staples to add to your wardrobe. Crystal from Factory Girl Design is teaching how to crack the color work code with charts and understanding color dominance. And Sana is teaching Continental Shift, which is about the benefits of knitting with our other hand, which mostly applies to color work. If you are knitting Fair Isle, for example, it is easiest, and I do this myself as well, to use 2 hands to actually knit, where you have one hand knitting English style and one hand knitting Continental. And Eve is talking about how to tell stories through fiber and color. And this one I'm really excited about. Galaxy is talking about how to do the Portuguese knitting technique. And that is day 2. So we are jam-packed. Oh, do you use Portuguese knitting?
No, reverse knitting.
Reverse knitting.
Someone was commenting that they can't wait to learn reverse knitting, and it's my absolute favorite thing in the world. I hate purling, so like I never ever purl anymore.
Oh,
And then
really?
you don't have to turn your project. It's the
Yeah.
best.
Especially with a sweater and you're flopping it back and forth.
With a blanket,
With a
it's even
blanket.
worse.
That's true too, yes.
Like I love making like big chunky throws with like super bulky weight yarn, but if you have to turn the whole thing, oh, it's a pain.
Yes. Oh, I see more friends in the chat. Hi, Sylvia. Sylvia says, I love the Knit Happy Summit and everything about the Stitch Society. Thank you for all of your hard work. Sylvia knows me for many, many years. She knows me for probably around 10-ish, 9, 10 years, something like that. She was a customer at the yarn store that I worked in before I was designing and publishing patterns and all of that stuff. And Beth asked a question about, will the sessions be recorded? So because of the format of the summit, the speaker presentations, to avoid having technical glitches and technical issues and anything else like that, all the presentations from the speakers, all these topics that we're talking about, these are all pre-recorded, already available in the back end of our of the website, and so they will be available to watch. They are not live, and the other benefit to that is that there is transcription along with the videos through my video player, and they you can rewind them, as compared to something if you're watching live and you want to see how did they do that again, it becomes, you don't have that like instant replay thing like Netflix, right?
You
So
can also like change the speed
yeah.
if you want to slow it down or like speed it up. And what I absolutely love is that they're all live at the same time. Like they all come on live and are available at the same time. And then you get to pick and choose when within the 2 days works for you to watch whichever you want to watch. So it's like a lot more flexible well, everyone has a life. So that way you don't have to like stop everything for 4 days and just do the summit. You can pick and choose when you have time which presentations to watch.
Yes, and it also works really well with time zone differences because we're a global audience. And it also means, so if you do one of the upgrades, then they're all all of the presentations, all 4 days worth of content are immediately, except the live speaker panels and that stuff, but the instructional lessons are available in your classroom starting on the first day of the summit on November 6th. So you can then pick and choose across all of the presentations instead of going day by day. The speaker panels will be recorded, and those replays will be added to the schedule page, and those will stay up throughout the whole summit. Those will not expire. And
we haven't talked about those yet. Can you like expand a little bit? Like, what is it? When are they? How they work?
yes, that's a good idea. And then I'll also talk about day 3.
Yes,
Let me
sorry, too many
grab.
things.
Yes, there's so many things. There's so many moving parts.
Maybe finish. Let's go over day 3.
Day 3, okay, yes.
Quickly-ish, and then we'll
we'll
talk
talk
about the
about the
speakers.
speaker panels and all of that good stuff. So on day 3, we are talking about knit what fits, but also what feels like you. So creating garments that fit, a knitting life that reflects you, confidence, creativity, and intention. So we have one of my most favorite people, Dawn from Twice Sheared Sheep, talking about the magic of a well-turned heel. We have 2 other sock presentations as well. Lauren from A Bee in the Bonnet is back, and she is talking about how to pick the best sock yarn for your knitting project. And Beth from Things Beth Makes is teaching the heel deal, so talking about flaps and gussets for knitting socks. And we have more topics relating to garments as well, talking about knitting what fits. So Celine, who is also from Belgium. She and Hortense connected, and that was so fun to see. So she's talking about horizontal bust darts and teaching you everything that you need to know to add them to your next project. Ethan is talking about gauge as the key to modifying patterns. And Heather, who is a yarn store owner, the name of the store is Yarn.com, and she's talking about her fit formula and applying measurements to any pattern. And then we have Hunter from May Crochets is talking about the future of size-inclusive patterns. And she uses an interactive technology to help you make patterns that will fit your body. So it's not just the out-of-the-box pattern based on the size chart that the designer used, but you can adjust them for your own measurements. Kavitha is talking about what to knit next, because sometimes we struggle with that. Sometimes we get into a rut and we find a pattern we like, a hat pattern or whatever it is, a blanket, and we just keep making the same thing. And we're not sure where we can take our skills next. So she's talking about that. And Juliet is talking about knitting with intention and creating a wardrobe that you love. And this is a presentation I am excited about. A little bit not knitting. They are not knitters. Erin and Tamara from The Art of Hobbiness, they have a podcast all about hobbies and why they are so important and how to fit them into our lives and kind of get back to, I think for those of us who, are at a point in life where we have, a home and maybe a spouse and maybe there's children and maybe there's parents, elderly parents to take care of. It's hard to carve out time in our lives, in our day. And it's hard sometimes to feel like that's a worthwhile thing to invest our time and also money in. So they're talking about why your hobby isn't extra, it's essential. And I'm excited about that. And Johnny from The Yarnist is scheduled to join us, and I'm keeping his presentation a secret until we get closer to the event. I knew that would make you laugh.
Yeah. So Johnny is the host of the Fearless Knitter Summit, where
Yes.
Jessica and I both talked end of August. We love Johnny. He's just a little bit last minute. If you've been to any of his stuff or seen him anywhere, he's awesome. He just does everything very last minute, which is not always easy for us, but we love him.
Yes, and he's a wonderful teacher and a wonderful presenter and a wonderful person to learn from. And so I give him that extra space and grace to create something magical for you all. He is joining us for one of the speaker panels, which I will talk to you about. But in case his topic changes. I didn't want to announce a specific topic for him and then have you wondering what happened. I thought he was going to talk about that. So, yeah.
Surprise. Surprises are good. We don't need to know everything ahead of time.
Yes. All right. So, and if you have any questions about anything, please feel free. Let us know what you're wondering in the chat. So we have 3 speaker panels. They are all happening at 1 o'clock Eastern time. There's one on Thursday, one on Friday, and one on Saturday. So the first one on Thursday, November 6th is Maker Momentum, staying motivated and actually finishing projects. We'll talk about creative rhythms, productivity hacks, and how to rekindle your knitting spark when motivation runs low. Because sometimes we lose that knitting mojo, right? Some people call that. So we're going to be joined. Hortense is one of the speakers joining us for that. And she'll be there along with Janessa and Johnny and Jewel and Sana, and that's going to be on Thursday, the 6th at 1 o'clock Eastern. The second speaker panel that we have is on Friday, again the same time, talking about from stash to style, making the most of what you have, discovering smart ways to turn your yarn stash into beautiful wearable knits with tips on substitution, planning, and purposeful making. And I'll be joined by Lauren and Lena and Juliet and Galaxy for that one. And the third speaker panel is on Saturday, also at 1 o'clock, a roundtable of designers, how inspiration becomes a pattern. And we're going to share our creative process, how we go from swatch to publication. And I will be joined by Holly and Jen and Celine and Crystal and Beth. And so I'm excited about all of that.
I'm excited. So many speakers signed up for the panels. The panels are like my favorite parts of like summits because they're where we get to talk to each other, which doesn't actually happen that often. But we get to learn from each other, and well, you guys get to learn too. But I always leave with like a lot of new stuff, new thoughts, new knowledge that I was not expecting. So
Yes, I always leave them feeling so energized, like just to be among the company of other people who do what I do in some variation, and learning from how they approach different topics. I loved the speaker panels that were part of Ashley Summit and also the Yarnist Summit. Another thing I did want to mention as part of the upgrades, besides giving a way to support and for our speakers to earn money, because all of the speakers will earn a commission for any purchases that they refer. So every time you make a purchase, you give Hortense or wherever you're coming from, wherever you found us, because we're on YouTube. So if you found us through someone else, then they will earn a thank you from me, and that's a wonderful way to support the presenters, the designers. In addition to that, and this comes just from my portion of the summit, also, and the speakers are paid separately in addition to whatever the commission. So I do make sure to take care of the speakers and make sure that they are not working for free, because in the yarn world, that is sometimes a thing. So no one works just for exposure. Everyone is being compensated between an amount that they earn from me and commission, and then anything that you purchase from them, that they do later as well, of course. And I'm also taking from my portion of the profits of the summit and donating to a nonprofit organization called World Central Kitchen. And it is a really wonderful organization. Purchases of both the Happy Knitters Toolkit and the Extended Access Pass will go into this. And they go into areas where there's been, say, a natural disaster, like a flood, a fire, a hurricane, and they get on the ground. They're usually there even before like the Red Cross or any other larger organizations. And they work with chefs in the local area who, now their restaurant isn't open, but they still know what they know and have the connections and for resources and all of that stuff. and they just feed hungry people. So if you have been in a situation where you and I hope that you haven't, but if you were ever in a situation where you experienced some sort of a natural disaster or other thing, and you're hungry and you just want to be taken care of, and so that's what they do. And they get on the ground first, and sometimes it just starts out very simple where they are feeding sandwiches, and then they build with volunteers, because sometimes you are part of that community and you just want to find a way to help your fellow community members. So they are serving hundreds and thousands. Yes, they are in Alaska right now. Last January, they were in North Carolina when there were the fires in California. They were there. And they feed, and they go globally as well too. It's not just United States based. And they work with these chefs, and they eventually are able to then feed the comfort foods, the people that the foods that people are used to eating. But they start small, let's just feed people, and they go around, and if people can't get to them, they go to the people. There's a really wonderful documentary. I think it is available to watch on YouTube. If you go to their website, I think it's wck.org, you should be brought to wherever they have it playing. The documentary was filmed by Ron Howard, that Ron Howard from Happy Days, who's now a wonderful director. And it's really something great to knit or crochet to. I'll say that. So you can learn more about them and who they are and what they do. And so it is an honor and a pleasure for me to make a difference together and to take a small portion of the proceeds, the profits from the event, and to help people in need. So I think that's all the screen sharing.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. So, trying to do good in the world, and also have a lot of fun knitting together and learning new things and spending time in the company of other knitters. There is a highly engaged, highly active community that you are welcome to come and join and hang out with us. And we are partying it up, and we're getting ready to start the summit, and we're playing games. We're going to play Two Truths and a Lie. Hortense, you have to fill out the form.
Done.
You did it? Okay, I checked last night.
Of course.
Before I went to bed at night. There were a few speakers who shared. So you're going to get to guess each speaker, whoever participates. I'm not requiring it of them, but as many as choose to participate will share 3 facts, and you get to guess which one of the 3 is the lie. And then whoever gets the most right, there will be prizes. We're also going to play Summit Bingo. And so you'll mark off squares as you participate in the summit. The community is on Facebook. You don't need to be part of the community in order to enjoy the summit. I always like to mention that. It is super fun, and I really encourage you to come and hang out and join us in the group. But you can access all of the events and all of the content without being on Facebook. So you will be able to watch all of the presentations are all on the website. The speaker panels and social stitch sessions are on Zoom. So if Facebook isn't your thing, I get it. It's not for everyone, but that is where the community is hosted.
You said everything I was going to ask, so.
Oh, I did it all?
Yes. I wanted to ask about the session. So you mentioned there's a bit of everything, like beginners, intermediate, more advanced. We saw the topics, but for people who don't know, like if you're a beginner, there's a lot of words, you have no idea what they mean, so you don't know if that's for you or not. Do you have any sort of like indication of the level? Maybe I'm asking something that I shouldn't.
I haven't done that yet, but I can look into, maybe there's a way, or I can include maybe in the morning email. So you'll get an email from me each morning of the summit, and you'll get other emails leading up to it, but and reminders about live events and all of that stuff. But each morning you'll get an email from me if you sign up and click Hortense's link to do that. And it will have a listing of the presentations and it will have links directly to the presentation pages. So you can go to the schedule page and you can navigate the summit that way, or you can navigate the summit through the email, either way. So maybe I'll add a little section, that
Because
says,
I just watched like a business summit, and they had like next to each presentation, they kind of just like divided in 3 levels, which made it super easy for me to see like, okay, this sounds interesting, but she says it's like beginner, so it's probably not like I probably already know all of this, or she says it's like intermediate or advanced, so I'll probably learn something. And I thought that was like super cool.
yeah, that's an
And
idea.
since you have more advanced, that way like beginners don't start watching the best start one not knowing what it is and if it could be something for them, because heads up, best starts are advanced.
Yeah.
But sometimes you think something is advanced but it's not, or like it can be confusing. Not
Yeah, I
confusing,
can
but
add that somewhere along the way. I don't know where I'll put it yet, but maybe on
don't feel pressure to. It was
the
just a
days.
question.
But yeah, no, it is a good idea. So if I don't put it on the somewhere else, maybe I can include just like a note in the daily email that says, like, if you are brand new, start here, start with these presentations.
I think that's
Or
going to be
put
helpful
these
for a
on
lot of people.
your must watch list if you're brand new. So I remember I think it was during the Knit Your Own Adventure Summit, we had someone who was just learning to knit, and I think she learned to purl like during one of the live sessions, which is so
I
incredible.
heard that.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love like having, and I find that like a lot of the time I always struggle with like telling people what level things are, because it really depends on what kind of knitting you enjoy. So like if you're a sock knitter, the sock sessions might be beginner to intermediate, but if you have never done socks and you're like, you might be advanced in garments but never tried socks, then they'll all be more intriguing and like new. I don't know how to
Yeah, I
explain
think
this.
that's
It's
true.
kind of like when Jessica tells me I'm going to teach a beginner brioche class, and I'm like, well, brioche is not beginner for me, but okay, fine. But of course, if someone tells you she's going to teach brioche cables, that's another level of advanced.
Yeah, so if you've never done brioche, I recommend learn brioche before trying brioche cables. Yeah, I think that is true about knitting as well. Like you can be someone who has knit cables, right? And cables are really just, I don't think we actually covered cables this time, but we did the last time. You're knitting the stitches in a different order to create this raised fabric. So instead of knitting like all of the stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, you're switching the order of them. So you're knitting stitch 3, stitch 4, and then coming back knitting stitch 1 and 2. That might be I might have just confused you more. I'm not sure, but there's simple technique within a technique category, and I'm just using cables as an example. So there are simple cables. So this is a sock pattern that is.
And then there are Jessica's cables.
These are simple. See, ends not woven in. So these are like a twisted stitch. They're a little bit like a cable because you're switching the order of the stitches, as compared to if you've ever seen some very complicated like Aran sweaters where the cables are crisscrossing back and forth and all of that. So you may be a beginner at may knit cables, but you may be more of a beginner at it compared to someone who can handle interwoven, Aran Celtic knot kind of things.
Yeah, and someone who can handle interwoven Celtic knot things might never have knit socks and be a complete beginner in socks. So
Right. Yes, and they may have never knit brioche. They may have never knit intarsia. They may have never knit lace. Maybe they
never made a garment.
maybe maybe they never made a garment. Maybe they have only made blankets and things like that, and not gotten into shaping. So that's why we have a session on directional increases, because that helps with garments and it helps with shaping, and it also helps with things like lace.
It's gonna be good. So we talked a lot about the summit, which is going to be awesome. Everyone agrees. But we want to know a bit more about you behind the
But
summit,
you didn't
because
talk
that's
about
more
me.
fun.
Before we talk about me, I want you to talk more about your presentation and your gift.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
will be talking about how to avoid having to weave in ends, because I hate ends. I have met a few people who like ends, but most people don't. And I've actually avoided like any sort of, well, I don't do color work, but even like stripes, because I'm like, that means I have all those ends and I don't want to do that. So I found out a way to avoid the ends with those kind of things. So that's what I'm sharing in my presentation, as well as like any other tips and tricks on how to, all the techniques to avoid having ends. And then if you have, because you will always have at least one end, the last one, like I don't have a trick to avoid that
Two.
one.
You got a beginning and an end. There's always
Well, the
two.
beginning one I can get rid of. Watch my presentation.
Yeah.
This one, that one's covered. It's the last one. The last one, I don't have a trick. I don't have any tricks. So then I show you how to weave it in properly. And with my presentation, you get to grab my slipstream blanket pattern for free, which is the blanket that I'm showing the techniques on, which is like a chunky knit blanket with a fun sort of like visual effect on the stripes. There's no color work involved. I don't do color work. It's one color per row. Don't worry. Very easy, but like something fun. And then my gift in the toolkit is, I forgot. I think I put my gauge class in there.
I think so. I'm gonna check and make sure that we're giving you guys accurate information.
So I submitted all of this to Jessica like in August. So that's why I
she
forgot.
is an early bird.
Well, I like to, when I sign up for something, I like to have it all sorted as quickly as possible. Then I'm sure that like I'm not putting the host in any last minute rush. I have everything sorted. I don't put any last minute rush on myself. I have two little toddlers and they tend to get sick at the worst times. So that way I'm sure I'm good. But I'm sure I set up a good audience.
You did the master gauge workshop is
Yeah.
your tool.
So it's a workshop from the squad, which is my membership, that you get special access to, that is going to teach you everything about gauge for both knitting and crochet. So like any small things that are different, the main concepts are the same, but like there's some tips and tricks for each craft. And it's a very good cover all your bases kind of workshop. Also how to do it in a round, things like that. And that way you can, I know we have a few presentation in the summit on like how to use gauge like for other things, but like just going back to the more beginners, and make sure you got all your bases covers. I did get like quite a few crafters who've been crafting for a lot of years, and joined the workshop in the squad and learn new things. So it is a beginner topic, but apparently sometimes we skip over gauge.
Yeah, sometimes
Anyone know what I mean?
Sometimes I see in in like the big Facebook groups, people in communities and people bragging that they've been knitting for 60 years and they've never made a gauge swatch. Then you're wasting a lot of time guessing, hoping that it will fit, or they've never checked their gauge. Especially if you knit things that you want to fit, like sweaters and hats and things like that, socks where you want them to fit a specific size. It's important.
But even other things, like, you want to make a blanket, but if you don't look at the yarn weight and the gauge, it's not gonna work. If you stick to the yarn on the pattern, then you're probably good. The yarn and needle size on the pattern, you might be like 10, 20 centimeters off on a throw, which is like 8 inches. It's a pretty big difference, but I know like my sister, she hates gauging. She, for 3 years, she
I love
made, I tell this story a lot, but I think it's a very relevant one. So she would only use one line of yarn, and she made a gauge swatch with a 4 mm hook, a 5 mm hook, and a 5.5 mm hook, in like double crochet. She only crochets. And then she told me like, any design she wants to make, because apparently I'm her private pattern writer, I just have to stick to those gauge swatches because she's not making another one. So I finally convinced her that, like, made her see sense. I just sent her a new pattern this morning. She's making a sweater for her kids. And I'm like, you're going to have to make a gauge swatch because I'm not making toddler sweaters without a gauge swatch. That's like between a 2-year sweater and a 4-year sweater, there's not that many centimeters. It's not going to work if you don't have a proper gauge swatch. And she even blocked it. So I'm so proud of her.
Wow.
I'm going on a tangent. She was like, do I need to do that before I give you the numbers? Yes, you do. Sorry, tangent here. I love my sister. So yeah, that's my bonus for like the inside the toolkit. About the toolkit, is there like a sneaky way to get access to last time's presentations? So someone mentioned they've watched it and they loved it. Some people might not have been aware of like the previous run of the summit. I think you have a sneaky way for people to get that.
I do, at a really great price too. I will show you what that looks like. Here, so let me see if I can just quickly share again. There you go. So like I mentioned, so you'll go to the other page and you'll grab your free ticket, and then you'll be brought to a page like this. And it will say at the top, your free ticket is already on its way to your inbox. But if you want to keep learning and growing in your favorite craft, then you will love the toolkit. And so there is a very special price. You can grab it for the first 30 minutes. You'll see a timer up at the top. This is for the toolkit for this this summit. And so you'll have 30 minutes to grab it for the best price. My advice is always don't sign up for the summit while you're waiting online at the bank or the grocery store. Sign up when you can read through all of the pages and make sure that you make the best decision for you, whatever that is. And then so you'll have the opportunity.
There is no comeback of the special deal you get when you sign up, and it's less than the 77 you saw on the screen. Yeah. There's only one way to get it, is when you sign up. Just a heads up.
And in those first 30 minutes, and then my system locks that offer, then it's not available anymore. Oh, you also get presentation guides. I didn't mention those. So these are in both the Happy Nerdist Toolkit and in the extended access pass. So you'll get my light bulb moment takeaways from all the presentations for a quick refresher anytime that you need it. So the things to remember, things to keep in mind. And yes, so the price is less in the first 30 minutes. And I don't know if we talked about my workshop, the double knitting challenge, Double Dare, is in there. This is all about Hortense's Master Gauge workshop that's in the toolkit. If you've ever wanted to try designing shawls, Ashley's is in there.
That's a good one.
Scroll past all of this. I hope I don't make anyone dizzy. You also get a $40 pattern gift code to have a little shopping spree of my patterns. And it's at the bottom of the page. I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe this will work. There we go. Okay. So in order to make a purchase, I'll just walk you through that. So you enter your first name and your last name, your email address. Sometimes people have typos, mistakes in their email address. So I just have you verify that so that everything gets to where it's supposed to go, and your country, state, and zip code, agreeing to the terms. And then you'll pick either the Happy Nerdist Toolkit or the extended access pass, so you can switch between them, whichever you prefer. With either option, if I can make that a tiny bit smaller. So with either option, sorry, my screen is moving. You can grab the presentations from the last Knit Happy Summit in January. So if you didn't join us, or if you did, but you didn't upgrade, so you don't have access to the replays, you can get 27 knitting workshops from the last Knit Happy Summit for just $19, which is, it's about 70 cents or so each workshop. And so these are 20 to 30 minute presentations. You also get the light bulb moments, and they're in the classroom, and you can start watching now. So we have a little under 2 weeks to go. So you can get started now while you are waiting for this year's summit this time summit to kick off. So it's 27 presentations with techniques and tips and inspiration. It's $19 is over 80% off. And so if you want to try brioche knitting, you can take the brioche knitting class now, and then maybe practice, and maybe then you can try the brioche cables. Also, how to knit cables without a cable needle, how to estimate yarn amounts with confidence, to create your own custom vanilla sock pattern, how to dye yarn in canning jars, how to spin your own yarn from scratch, and a lot more. Normally it would be $97, but you can grab it during the checkout. So it's a one-time offer that you can only get it at this price while you are upgrading for the Happy Knitter Summit. You can grab the previous summit's presentations.
And just to make sure everyone knows, every single presentation is different from this edition, so there's no double topics. It's some of the speakers are comeback speakers, but we all talk about something else. Some topics might be if I talk about weaving in ends in this session, maybe there's something about ends in the previous summit with other tips and tricks, but usually the topics are all different.
Yes, because there's a lot of different ways. There's, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, at least 3 or 4 off the top of my head ways to make a left-leaning decrease. So there's always something new, always something to learn. Yeah, so if you do want to grab it, then you will toggle on this gold little button here where the arrow is pointing. It is automatically off because I don't want anyone to be forced to purchase something that they don't want to purchase. So if you do want it, you have to press the button to turn it on. And then you can pay with a credit card or PayPal. If you choose PayPal, then you'll make that highlighted green and click, yes, I want to purchase my Summit upgrade, or a credit card. And so there's lots of different payment options. So you'll put that information in, and then you'll click the yes, I want to purchase my Summit upgrade box there. After that, you'll be brought to a page that gives you an option to try a 30-day trial of my membership, and
do it. Awesome. But it's a free trial. It's part of the toolkit, so you can cancel anytime, and you get access to Jessica hosts awesome workshops. I think they get a pattern every month.
Yeah, a pattern every month. You get access to 11 workshops when you join. But these are not summit workshops. So the summit workshops, because it's so many speakers and so much content and all of that, are 20 to 30 minute workshops. The workshops that you get as part of the membership are mostly either 90 minute to 2 hour. I talk a lot, friends. 90 minute to 2 hour workshops, or they are challenges that I ran over a week. So then it's 5 1-hour sessions on the topic. I do have a brioche workshop that you get that is, I call it a taste of brioche, but it includes 3 patterns, and it goes over the very basics of brioche and also talks about brioche increases and decreases. And that was a challenge that I ran over the summer, and it was 6 weeks worth of lessons, 1 lesson a week, to give time to practice and absorb in between, because brioche we need to practice. Yeah, and we also have.
I'm not ready for brioche yet. Yeah. One day you'll get me.
I'm not pushing anyone to try brioche, but if you want, and it covers lace and cables, and Fair Isle knitting, and how to fix your knitting mistakes, double knitting.
Your sock challenge ornaments.
Yes,
that one is so cute.
There's 2 sock challenges. They are great for holiday gifts. I call them tiny treasures because they're perfect to stick candy or a gift card or money. You can hang them on a Christmas tree if you celebrate Christmas. If you celebrate something else, you can put them as a decoration on the top of the present, on top of the gift, as part of the wrapping, or just give them to someone. And so there's 2 because I teach one knitting from the top down, from the cuff down to the toe, and the other teaches you how to knit from the toe up to the cuff. And so those are included as well. There's also a more detailed mosaic knitting challenge that teaches you mosaic knitting to knit a cowl in the round or flat. But for the challenge for the summit, we're going little. Just a little coaster, a little taste of mosaic, and a fun little project. Sometimes we listen better. Let me know, anyone, if this is you. I listen so much better if my hands are moving. If I'm knitting, I can absorb what I'm watching. See?
Always.
I'm not good at hosting or talking while I'm knitting, but I am if I have to like watch a workshop or a presentation or listen to a call or something. I always have something in my hand.
I hated university because you had to go to class and you couldn't knit in class. Like that's, well, your Belgian teachers would never allow that. But I was like, I would listen so much better if you just let me knit. But that's kind of hard to explain to outsiders.
Yes. So let us know if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, if you find that true. All right, we have a few minutes left, and you had questions for me about me. You want to know more about me?
Yes, we do. So I
All
wanted to
right.
ask this at the beginning, but then you dove straight in, which was awesome. But I think people want to get to know the awesome Jessica behind all of this. So I think we've covered the summit. If you have any questions left, drop them in the chat or just email Jessica or me. Just reply to any of our emails and we're happy to help you out. But I would love to know what your favorite knitting technique is. Like if you have to pick one and that's it.
If I could only knit one type of technique like forever.
No, you just have to pick one favorite.
Right, just a favorite. So this is not I'm stranded on a desert island and I can only
No,
knit one.
no,
And
I'm
I
not
only
that
have one
extreme.
pattern.
That's like making me choose between knitting and crochet. It's not happening.
All right, so just picking favorites. It's like picking, can you have a favorite child? I don't know.
No, I'm not. Just like when I say favorite technique, what
Favorite,
pops up?
I like knitting lace. I enjoy the repetition of lace, and I'm pretty good at not dropping my yarn overs, and I know how to fix them. So yeah, lace I can get into the rhythm in my head. I enjoy cables, but for cables it's more fiddly because if you're using a cable needle, then you need to like pick it up and put it down. And lace I can just go. So I pick lace.
Okay. Can you share 3 fun facts that are not like business related, like personal facts,
3 fun personal facts. I have
or like random?
I come from a very, very large family, not my immediate family, but I have like 30 something first cousins.
That's a lot.
And then some of them have a lot of children. And so my family is huge, and that was a culture shock for my husband, who has no first cousins by blood because his uncles didn't have children. He has 2 uncles and neither one had children. He has so like our wedding was my family
Little imbalance.
and his family. So yeah, that is something about me. What else?
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food? I like Chinese food.
Chinese is good. Good pick.
But no one in my children and my husband don't eat Chinese food. So it's like something I treat myself to when like they're busy, or I just like decide I'm going to treat myself to it. So yeah.
Makes it even better.
Yeah. They're all very picky eaters.
Yeah, because Chinese food is like very vague, you know? It's kind of like saying European food. Like I lived in Asia for 4 years, in Malaysia. So like I don't even know all the Chinese food, but like it's a very broad range of food. So it's like saying I don't like European food. How can you not like all Chinese food? That doesn't really make sense, but
Yeah, I do also like Spanish food, Mexican food, and stuff like that. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would be Chinese food. I also really enjoy brunch. I don't know if that's a food, but I don't know. French
it is.
toast.
It's not really a food, but it
It's
gets
a
in the
category
category.
of food, I
And what
guess.
is one thing like you don't like? Not food, but like just in general. Like I hate purple. What is one thing you just don't? It's just
Oh.
not you.
Well, on the topic of food, I'll say vegetables.
That's again, that's just as broad as Chinese food. You
Yeah.
can't hate all vegetables.
Which is so I don't know if any of you have experienced this, like growing up, if like you were a pain to your parents about something and they said, when you grow up, your kids are going to do this so much worse. So I wouldn't eat vegetables as a kid growing up. And so now I have very, very picky eaters. Um, I especially potatoes I didn't like as a kid. And my dad said, you are going to marry a potato farmer. That's what he used to tell me. Your whole life is going to be potatoes.
Welcome to Belgium. Potatoes are
I
not
don't
vegetables, by
and
the
I
way.
don't like cold weather, but I also don't like hot weather. My husband says my perfect temperature is,
Inside.
71.5 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what he says,
Okay,
nothing
that's
warmer,
very
nothing
precise.
colder. Yeah.
That's kind of like my mom. She's also a very precise temperature person. I'm fine as long as it's above 30 degrees Celsius, which it never happens in Belgium. So we
Yeah.
can't have everything we want in life.
So what are 3 things about you? Tell us about you. I know you were
Oh,
asking about me, but I'm gonna ask
yeah.
about you.
Um, I'm a very square person, so I'm very yes or no. I like Diet Coke, although it's like super unhealthy. I know. I don't drink alcohol. I barely drink any coffee, but if you want to make me happy, a can of room temperature Diet Coke is my go-to. And all my friends know. So anytime I'm invited to dinner, like they especially went and bought my Diet Coke that they keep at room temperature for me. So it's like super nice and also a little bit awkward. But like that's me. That's just how it is. What else? It's kind of hard. I speak three and a half languages. English is my third language. So I'm a native French speaker and I went to school in Dutch. My husband speaks Dutch at home and went to school in French. So at home, it's like a jolly mix. The kids
Hmm.
speak French to me, Dutch to him, and Dutch in school, and Spanish with their nanny. So it's like a very multilingual home here.
Wow.
Which I know for Americans sounds very strange, but in Belgium it's pretty common. And then what my favorite food? I have a lot of favorite foods, but my favorite meal would be like tea time. You don't even have a word for it, but we have a word for like a 4 o'clock snack that's like sweet. Like kids, they get something to eat after school.
Yeah.
Well, we adults in Belgium keep doing it because it's the best part because you can eat just sweet. I have a very sweet tooth, but I'm also super picky when I eat. So it's like when I was a teenager, my mom would joke with the rest of my family that she wanted to make a list of what everything like everyone didn't like, and then she came to me and she was like, "Well, for Hortense, we'll just make a list of what she does like because that's gonna be way shorter." I know, but I don't have picky eater kids, so I'm lucky. The boys like to eat pretty much everything as long as it's edible. They eat. They eat so much lately. They're 2.5 and 5, and they eat like 5 slices of bread in the morning. I'm like,
Oh
how is
my
it going to be
goodness.
when you're 16? Like, how am I going to survive this?
Yes, my boys, I have twins. They are 14 and they one doesn't eat very much at all, and the other one, if we let him, he would like sit down and eat like an entire bag of potato chips or an entire like thing of cookies. So
Yeah,
he's slender, he's
both
thin,
of them
but
will do that, but they'll even do that with like healthy things.
with
Like
healthy things.
they'll eat half a kilo of Brussels sprouts, like very random things.
I don't know if
Like
I've
he
ever
will, like the
eaten a
small one
Brussels
will eat a
sprout.
whole cucumber for dinner. I'm like, who eats a whole cucumber, like an adult size one? I was like, what? That's like way
Here's
too
one.
much.
I don't think I've ever eaten a Brussels sprout.
You have to make them the right way. They can be good, I promise. I used to not like them, so yeah, it's not the easiest vegetable. I wouldn't start there with vegetables.
No.
But anyways, I do have another call to go to, so
Yes,
unfortunately, I'm
okay.
going to have to get us going. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you got to get a clearer picture of what the Knit Happy Summit is all about, how it works, and how awesome it would be for you guys to join us and get to know us a little bit better. And if you have, as I said, any questions, we are super easy to reach. Just reply to any of our emails or hit us up on social media. I'm at Knitting with Chopsticks everywhere, and Jessica is Double the Stitches everywhere.
Yes, and the link to sign up, Hortense's link to sign up should be in the video description.
Yes,
I believe.
And in the comments.
And in the comments. And we can't wait to see you there. We are so pumped, so excited for this. So thank you so much for joining us or watching on the replay. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Bye, everyone.